This has been a stunning and awful couple of hours for all of the parents at Oxford High.
Yes, it definitely has. Parents were directed to a mire near the school where students were sent, hoping to reunite with their families as soon as possible. Our Jason Colthorpe is in that area and joins us. He's been talking with students and parents as well. Jason.
Karen, I'm actually across the street from the mire, and that's where some parents and students have now spilled over into an area where this is so fluid that they're just trying to find a place where they can get kids and their parents together in the right spot where they can meet. The mire is just almost a zoo now with a heavy police presence, as you can imagine. But across in this place, I went walking around, came across several parents and students, many who couldn't even put into words what had just gone on, and they weren't even in the middle of it, but they were reunited. You could just see the relief on their faces, parents not letting their kids more than a couple feet out of their sight, out of their reach. And as I spoke to more parents, some didn't have kids at school that day, but as Paula said, a very small community here, and everybody touches everyone here, so everyone knows everyone, and so people are on the scene trying to support each other. And you have other parents that I came across just in a state of disbelief, also others waiting to hear about loved ones, not their children, but other kids they know very well, just waiting to hear. And then we also have in this situation parents who are talking about the motivation here. And we really need to stress that this is very preliminary, because I've been talking to Mike McCabe, the undersheriff, many times throughout this process, even after he updated everyone. And we're talking about that threat that we talked about a little while ago. That was a Snapchat, but what they're looking at came from a student who saw this. It was a picture he took of someone else's Snapchat, but it was enough for him to not want to go to school today. He stayed home. Some of his friends stayed home, because that, coupled with some things that have happened in recent days and weeks, even going back a month, that police have not confirmed, but they say they're looking into everything, perceived threats where it was enough where students just didn't feel comfortable today. And we spoke with that mother and her son, who's a senior and did not go to school today. And here's what they had to say.
But my son has a footage of them on social media saying what this person, whomever it was, what he said that he would do to these kids if they came to school, if he heard their voice, what he would do to them, that if you come to this school today, I'm going to kill you.
First thing, when I got up, I put my shoes on, put my coat on, I told my mom, come on, let's go. I have a friend, he's more like my cousin, I think of him as my cousin. And I said, he's in there, he's the only one that went to school, and I need to get up there to get him out of that school, because I don't want anything to happen to him.
And he is okay?
Yeah, he is fine. He's at home. He's a little bit scared, but he'll be okay.
Yeah, they said when they got here to the school, deputies were everywhere, but some students who had been shot were coming out. He knew those students. It was just devastating to see them dealing with these injuries. His friend that he knew, his mother told me, I believe she said he was a member of the football team, but he ran all the way home before any of this and is safe. But again, the investigation now into exactly what were these threats. Are they connected to this 15-year-old sophomore who allegedly pulled the trigger today? The young man that police do have in custody. They don't know if that's the case yet. So we're working to learn more about that, as pretty much most parents who are looking for someone are being reunited with them as we speak. Karen?
I know you've been talking to a lot of parents, Jason, and it is hard to report on this in terms of threats and rumors. We don't want to add to anything if we don't have it, quote, proven or verified, but it does feel like this is a constant thing we have been hearing about this afternoon. Uneasiness, uncomfortable. Something may have happened a few weeks ago. Something might have happened last week. You know, the student you spoke with didn't feel like they were comfortable going to school. It just feels like there were a lot of, at least red flags, something out there that had people worried.
Well, and I think you could pick up on that a little bit when the superintendent was talking to Paula. And this parent, I mean, I asked her point blank, do you think your son can go back to this school? She said, no, he's not coming back. She doesn't want him to come back in person, at least, given what has happened. And in a lengthier interview we had with her, she talked about a lot of different things that had been happening, writing on the walls, threats to certain students, violent threats. And in her mind and some students' minds, they hadn't been dealt with appropriately. But again, every school has issues like this, and we don't know the inner workings. We don't know if staff was dealing with this, but maybe students don't know what the action plan is yet. So it's unfair to maybe connect those dots, but it's certainly fair to say that some students were uneasy about things, and at least one parent does not want to send her student back here. Karen?
Most definitely. There's a lot there to unpack. All right, Jason, thank you very much.
I think